dude from Deadpool, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Didn't he recently get in trouble for calling?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay,
he called a bomb threat or something on a train that he was on.
Yeah. What the hell, man? I liked him in Cloverfield. I really liked him in Cloverfield. He's documenting. I'm documenting.
But yeah, so that's my one show, man.
TJ Miller. He's gonna be here Friday and Saturday. Nice.
Yep.
So, my one and only show is gonna be. I've been plugging this for a couple shows now, but Thursday they're playing for us. You guys will be listening to this on Friday morning if you stream us right away. They'll be playing the following Sunday, which is the 29th, I believe.
Yes.
And they're going to be playing two sets. The first one is Full Collapse, and then War All the Time a couple hours later. I have a ticket for War All the Time. Somehow I got one. But anyway, I'll be there. If you guys don't know who they are, they're super cool, like post-hardcore. If I had to throw them in a genre, they're fun. And if you guys can find tickets, you should go. It's going to be at the Soda Bar. I'm sure it's going to be nuts.
You can just go and hang out outside.
Listen to them in the back or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, let's jump into our main focus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about The Evil Dead, which is rated NC-17. It was released in 1981. It's considered a horror comedy, I guess. It runs 1 hour and 25 minutes. It's got a 95 on Rotten.
Damn.
And it's directed by Sam Raimi. And the synopsis is, in Ash's first outing, he wanders out in the woods with a couple of friends to take a vacation, but when they unknowingly unleash an ancient evil, things take a turn for the worst. So let's open up the floor for you guys.
Yes.
What did you think about this movie, and why do you think it's still relevant today?
Vic, you want to take this one?
Me go first?
Yeah.
Okay. This movie, dude. I remember seeing this movie during the summer of freshman year going into sophomore. My buddy showed it to me on VHS, and he just was comparing it to he was just saying it was the craziest thing he's ever seen. The gore in it, I remember him telling me about it. So when I finally watched it, I was probably 14 at the time. It was just nothing like I've ever seen before. It's almost like the grandfather that said set the bar for everything else to be that crazy and left field out of everything. And it kind of reminds me of what Trauma was inspired by. And I mean, dude, Evil Dead, I used to play the video game when I got it on PS1, and I've seen, all the other one, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, but just the Ash, I love the Ash character, because he's badass, dude. He's almost like, I'll take care of that, or like, he's so smooth about getting stuff done. But the first one, I mean, it holds a little something in my heart, because it's almost like I said, the grandfather for me of all that type of off-the-wall bonkers horror movie, Evil Dead, and like the Dead Alive and stuff like that. But man, I think it holds a lot nowadays, because like I said, it kind of sets the bar. I mean, you can tell it's a B-rate movie, kind of low budget, but it's still entertaining. I mean, it's like we were just watching. I was entertained. I mean, I like that movie a lot, man.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah. I have to agree with everything that Vic says. This movie definitely is on the lower end of the budget scale, but I mean, for most of the movie taking place in the cabin, and but like Vic said, this is kind of like a blueprint for a lot of films that came after this. It kind of laid out a nice little way of how to do something super off the wall, and I really dug the the claymation ending. That was pretty good. But yeah, like overall, this movie was. I've only seen this movie one time. Besides this time we just watched it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it was like I was a kid, so I hardly remember anything. I remember more.
So you bought it and you hadn't watched it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I bought it just because I knew what it was, but I remember more of 2 and a little bit of the Army of Darkness, but I just feel like the whole Ash versus the Evil Dead kind of revamped this surgence of fans or people who were fans of the old one, kind of got them into it again.
Yeah.
Or new people like me who I saw these a long time ago, and then I watched the show and I'm like, holy fuck! Like,
I'm sure you probably forgot about them. At least they were probably in your subconscious, and then the show, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
And then you completely relate to the show. Is so good, man, because they play. It's like the perfect medium of like modern horror meets what Evil Dead was.
Yeah.
And they made a fucking show.
Yeah.
Something you could watch every week.
Yeah.
And you get like, what is it, like 8-10 episodes a season?
It's something like that.
Something like that, yeah,
They're
but I
only
mean,
half
it's-
an hour, so you can fucking boulder through a season in no time. But then like every episode is like so tightly written and fun,
Yeah.
and insane. It's the show's just as bonkers as all these movies.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so sad to see it go, because it's so much better than a lot of the television we're getting right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you guys talk about it. I've just been slacking on it. But I mean, I've seen a couple of excerpts here and there of it. But yeah, dude, I mean, I want to watch it. I mean, it sucks that they're taking it off, but it's cool that,
I mean, I made a fucking pin
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
because of season 2,
Yeah. And both seasons of 1 and 2 are on Netflix right now.
Yeah, so you can,
You can
watch
check
them
those out.
for free.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoyed this movie. What about you, sir?
All right, so I'll go back to my first interaction with this film. So my mom, she had just moved back down from Arizona. I was maybe 12 or 13, around Vic's age when I saw it. And she had the VHS in her car.
Okay.
And I think I was bored and I was looking for something new to watch, and I hadn't seen that yet, and it looked interesting, so I popped it on, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I watched it alone, I watched it in the dark. I
Oh,
wanted to be
man.
scared, but the sound engineering in this film, like the screaming and it's so dragged on and weird and like
Creepy.
and the makeup and the and the eye contacts, everything, and how it's so, everything is so practical, and it looks almost like you're watching like a snuff film.
Snuff film. Yeah.
And it makes it so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does.
I always think about that. Like, this is so... It kind of looks like it's a little too real for what they were doing, but then at the same time, it feels B-movie, and it's that they ride that happy medium that I think that's why it captured so many people's hearts, because it's hard to do what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, they had a budget of like $350,000, something pretty small, at least for a movie. And it's made, I'm sure, so much more.
Yeah.
Probably over $1 million by now. But going back to my first experience, it scared the shit out of me, and for a while I didn't like it very much because of that. I was
Creep
like,
you out?
I don't know
Yeah.
if I can come back to this. Like, it just felt, like for a while, because my grandmother would tell me, like, don't watch possession movies because it's like you're inviting the evil in.
Yeah, you're
And that's like the pinnacle of the, that movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
That's exactly how Alyssa is. She hates watching, like, she's like, I'll watch anything with like a murderer. She's like, I'm not afraid of that, like that shit. She's like, but when it comes to like demons and like evil spirits, she's like, that shit's real. She's like, I'm not fucking with that.
no Exorcist.
No, she's watched it before, but she can't stand that stuff.
Yeah, it's that.
She's like, it's real. That stuff, that shit's real. Like, they're gonna get you. It's just funny.
I want to do a shout out to Joe, our coworker, or ex-coworker for you. He he thought this movie's like a zombie movie, and
really?
I wouldn't say it's a zombie movie. I think it's more like a
Possession.
bonkers possession film. So what's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Joe? Thanks for listening.
We hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
But yeah, I love this movie. It's obviously I've revisited it a few times since I watched it the first time, and I feel like I find something new in it every time. I love Bruce Campbell. I think that he's pretty much the reason why these films are revered so much, you know what I mean? Obviously Sam Raimi behind the camera is awesome, and they created like a kind of a style of their own, like running with the camera and that weird like POV shots of the demon and stuff. That's because of them, you know what I mean? And everything that followed after this, like Dead by Dawn and the series and Army of Darkness, they're all awesome, and I think that they get way more credit than the original for some reason, because the original is a lot more serious in tone. I think that they were still trying to find their footing, maybe, as
you can
far
see
as
that.
the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
They don't try to make it too funny. It is kind of black comedy, but I'm not sure it's intentional in this one, There's a lot of things that are funny that we laugh at, but I don't know if they were put there for real. But yeah, I feel like there's so many layers to this that it's very, very interesting. And watching this, I got to see this maybe a couple years ago at the Ken. On the big screen for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a rowdy crowd.
I bet, dude. Is it like a midnight screen?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I would have been there. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm sure they'll do it again. They just did 2 mid last year.
That's cool.
So hopefully we can go and catch something soon. But yeah, I don't know. I love this film. And thank you for picking it, man.
Yeah.
You're always surprising me with your picks, dude.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, so this is Wes pick? He goes, no.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, I thought it was only fitting, man, just because of the show getting canceled. It's like, oh man, we gotta pay tribute, So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the pick.
I do always, man. You always, even when you leave us hanging at the last minute, you're like, oh yeah, let's do this, and I'm like, dude, that makes total sense.
Yeah, thanks.
But I actually have some audio from Looper. It's called The Untold Story of the Evil Dead.
Okay.
If you guys want to check that out, it's about maybe 6 minutes long or something. Cool. There's a ton of info in this that I think you guys like.
Yeah.
Awesome. You want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
More than 35 years after the release of its low-budget, outrageous first installment in 1981, Evil Dead is still alive. With 4 movies and a TV series under its banner, the franchise just can't be beaten. Here's how this crazy, campy, chainsaw-happy movie about one guy taking on demons in a remote forest cabin went from the backwoods of Michigan to the delirious nightmares of horror fans worldwide. 3 Schmoes. The film was willed into existence by one essential trio, actor Bruce Campbell, director Sam Raimi, and producer Robert Tappert. Though none of the 3 had those titles when they came together to start their project, they were instead, in the words of Bruce Campbell, 3 Schmoes in search of a clue. Unbeknownst to all of them, they were destined for a long future together, and it all started with a series of low-budget Super 8 films they made together in college. After cobbling together a catalog of shorts, the 3 started thinking about producing a full-fledged feature, and in 1979, Raimi came up with a story about some kids who accidentally summon evil spirits from a sacred burial ground. Within the Woods. To make their horror project, which they wanted to name The Book of the Dead, the trio first finished a short film as a proof of concept, calling it Within the Woods.
You're only cursed by the evil spirits if you violate the graves of the dead. We're just going to be eating hot dogs.
With a budget of $1,600, they shot the half-hour movie over the course of a 3-day weekend. Then, they set out to find investors to make the full-length film. The only problem was that nobody knew who they were. To make up for their lack of credibility, they staged what Campbell estimated were hundreds of screenings of Within the Woods, picking up $1 here and there.
And I remember we showed this first little Super 8 movie in the detergent aisle of a grocery store after it closed to a couple of merchants, and they didn't invest.
After months of work, the trio came up with $85,000. Not nearly enough to finish the movie, but enough to get started. Pain and celluloid. Knowing money was tight, the trio was merciless when it came to keeping costs contained. To get a shot of the camera breaking through a window, they just shoved the camera through a real window, while another guy smashed the window with a 2x4 to